I'm Scott L. Miller. It's the 21st of October, 2021. This is Thursday here in gorgeous Geneseo, New York. I was hoping to be able to do a lot of pictures and a lot of filming today around town and get some cool shots while we're here in New York, but if you watched the update yesterday, my phone is completely dead. So I got up this morning in the hopes that I was wrong and that the phone would actually work. It did not. What I figured out is that it takes about 10 hours for the phone to fill up from a complete wipe and kill itself. So I get about 10 hours, and then I have to spend about an hour prepping the phone, and then I get another 10 hours. And so I did that a few times today just so that I would have a phone that would kind of work. But what we discovered first thing this morning is that it couldn't make calls or get texts. Even more fun. Even when you fully wiped it and did a fresh install or whatever, it was not able to make calls. So we checked Domenica's phone. It was not able to make calls. Great. Now our account is apparently disabled and we're completely out of contact with multiple phones. So I spent the first part of the morning getting a hold of T-Mobile and explaining to them everything that was going on. And they did work with us to get the lines working again, so we were able to make calls and receive text again before too long. But they had no idea what to do about the actual phone not working, which is just great since it's a T-Mobile phone and a T-Mobile update and locked by T-Mobile. So that it's 100% dependent on their support. And they have no idea of how even to address the issue. They had no process for addressing the issue. They just kind of threw up their hands and were like, oh, that's not something we can help with. And I said, well, what do we do? Because this is 100% on you. You broke it. You locked it. You're blocking me from doing any of my own troubleshooting. And I'm still paying for the phone. What's the process? And the girl said, well, I'll get engineering involved. I'm like, okay, how long is this going to take? And they're like, oh, we'll get back to you to let you know if we think we can try something in 1 to 3 days. And I'm pretty sure they mean business days. So we're looking at something close to Wednesday of next week, which is after I have to travel to Texas with the kids, that they'll get back to me with some information about the phone. Seriously? This is their support idea for the phone. This is insane. So now my stress level is that much higher because I have no plan for a working phone. I have no next step. So today was very, very high stress, just crazy. And we didn't have a chance to deal with anything today because we had a lot of meetings scheduled throughout the day. We had to spend this morning dealing with this stuff, so I couldn't deal with the actual phone not working. And Domenica's parents came pretty early in the day to visit for the day. So obviously we were visiting with them and not running around dealing with the phone. So our window to work on the phone today was very, very small. I should mention that this morning, one thing I did do is get up and about 8:30, 9 o'clock, took Luciana to Tim Hortons, which she's been looking forward to a lot, and got our first round of Timmy Ho's since being back in New York. And unlike all the other meals that we have had so far, the food was yummy. They have amazing donuts, the vanilla cream being my favorite. Domenica got the French cruller. Dad got 2 vanilla creams. 2, yes. I can't remember what the kids tried. And we got lots of bagels. The bagels, honestly, were not what I remember. And I like the bagels in Las Penitas better. They are, of course, artisan in Las Penitas rather than factory, but normally Tim Hortons is pretty decent, and they weren't bad, but they were not up to par. I am walking in the park, by the way. This is in the middle of my father's complex. It's very nice, very nice. Good place to film. The light is actually really dim. I am so far pretty happy with how this iPhone is handling the low light. From what I can see. We will see what it looks like when we throw it up on the big screen, but it's looking good on here. Anyway, so we did have a nice trip this morning to do that. I will note though that our first food in America that we were happy with was Canadian. Noodle on that for a minute. Okay, so we hung out with Domenica's parents, spent the day until, I want to say about 4:30, and then they needed to get on the road, but we wanted to get dinner first. So we all went to JJ Leisure's in Lakeville, which is cool because Dad says it's like their favorite restaurant around here these days. They're doing really well, good food, good service. And it's actually, I'm carrying mail in my other hand, by the way. It's actually part of a hotel and banquet center that Dominica used to work at 18 years ago. I don't know the exact dates. You look it up on Sheep Guarding Llama. And so she used to run the hotel there. So when we talk about how she has experience running a hotel that's a lot like our hotel in Nicaragua, this is the one that we talk about. This is the place that she used to be the night manager at this hotel and restaurant, which is not that different in size from our current place. So pretty cool. And I used to obviously come visit her there. We were newlyweds at the time, so I think it was neat for the kids to get to go there and see that. And dinner was really good. I got scallops. Both girls tried my scallops and liked them. Luciana got mac and cheese and wasn't too impressed. Liesel got a salmon BLT, which she liked pretty well. Looked really good. So it was a nice dinner. Dominica's parents took off from there. We drove the kids and dad back to dad's apartment here in Geneseo, and immediately Dominica and I ran to Rochester to see, because we had heard that, so first of all, the T-Mobile and Apple stores are only in Rochester, not down here in Geneseo. So we had to run up to Rochester to do anything. There was just enough time before the stores were going to close, so we drove really quickly up to the Marketplace Mall area in Henrietta and went to the T-Mobile store because we had heard a rumor, because Paul had been doing research, that it's possible that the SIM card was corrupted on the phone and that was causing the issue. I don't know how a SIM card corrupting could do what it's doing, but we needed to try some stuff. So we went to the T-Mobile store. They did say our SIM card was really old, so they got us a new one. We wiped it in the store. We watched it for a while, and sadly, it started filling up again. So we're pretty sure that was not a fix. So we're very stressed again. No answer. They had no solution for us, nothing to give us as hope. So we drove back and discussed our strategy. Our plan is to get up in the morning and go to the Apple store as soon as possible and try to get a replacement phone, because at this point, T-Mobile cannot make their stuff work, and I cannot be without a phone. And really, I can't be without a camera either, but I could survive without the camera. But being without a phone is not an option at all. I mean, I have been completely crippled. I just lost several days this week. I have constant customers trying to get a hold of me, like, where's this thing that we're waiting for? Where's that thing that we're waiting for? I can't even respond to them because I don't have text, I don't have Telegram, I don't have WhatsApp, I don't have my email, I don't have anything. And I don't have my login system because I use two-factor authentication for everything. So most things I can't get into because my phone doesn't work. So until my phone is fixed, there's some things I'm just locked out of. So it's really bad at this point that there's no solution from T-Mobile and no alternative. We don't have like a backup phone to throw my SIM card into or anything like that, especially because we're traveling. So that was rough. But by the time we were done at T-Mobile, there was no time to do anything else. We just drove home. That's our strategy for tomorrow. My morning is actually pretty clear. So we're just going to try to do that first thing and see how far we get. Dominica was also able to find out that Walgreens offers COVID boosters here. So we're going to try to schedule our third COVID shot for tomorrow down in Mount Morris, which would be really nice. We were hoping we'd be able to do that while we're in the United States on this trip, and we're making it happen. So really happy that seems like it's going to work. Doing that at the end of day tomorrow, because we need to allow lots of time to deal with the phone situation. Then once we got home, it was kind of late. We did hang out with Dad for a little while. We looked at videos and pictures from Las Pinitas so we could show him people and the town and places and stuff, because he never had someone to narrate it. So it's kind of hard to put the pieces together from just these videos, for example. And we hung out. We played some of a game. I can't remember its name, but it's one of the ones where you see gibberish and you have to guess what the phrase is they're trying to say based on the gibberish. That's a lot of fun. We don't keep points. We just all sit around in the living room and guess at it. And that was a lot of fun. And then everybody was tired, so we went to bed on the early side, except for me. I had book stuff that was way overdue, so I stayed up until about 1:30 in the morning getting that stuff done. But I did get some really important work done and submitted, and I think they're going to be pretty happy that they've got that. And I do have a lot more to be doing. I'm really stressed about all the work that I need to do to catch up, and I'm really stressed because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with the phone. So it's this whole early part of this trip is just an overwhelming stress ball of dealing with this phone situation. Yeah, so that is the end of Thursday. I will see all of you tomorrow on Friday when I start recording with a new iPhone 13 that I have now, and you'll find out what happens. See you there.